Why was the black god color in Africa? Imana-Ra/Amen-Ra, the unique god of Africa, represented here under his male apparition in the temple of Pharaoh Hatshepsut. In pharaonic antiquity, the pitch-black color was the basic color of God and the gods. Why did our ancestors think so? Many will answer this question by saying that the Egyptians were black, therefore they imagined the creator as himself. But not all Egyptians were so dark in the complexion. There were the four main shades of black in Egypt. The major majorities were pitch dark and dark brown. There was also a minority of blacks with fair skin and albinos. It's the same thing we see in all African countries, except perhaps the Sudanese, who, without mixing with the Arabs, have always been the blackest people in the world. Why then give that pitch black complexion to God? It is actually in the sun. The sun, God's messenger. As we explained in our article on African spirituality, God is the hidden consciousness that created the world through its own original energy. This energy is present in every element of creation. God is everywhere through his energy, which is present in all things. The strongest energy that mankind perceives is therefore that of the sun's rays. Besides, the sun is a benefactor because it gives light to the earth. There is also life by allowing plants to grow, photosynthesis, and allowing liquid water. The sun is necessary for life. The sun as the main energy, benevolent star and life giver, is therefore God in the small format and God's main messenger on earth. This explains why the Africans were the first to say that God is light. Pharaoh Akhenaten sacrifices the sun, God's messenger, that brings life through the rays. This giving is represented on the image by hands at the end of the rays holding the Ankh cross, which is the symbol of life. The sun, God's messenger. Sculpture from the ancient Ashanti Empire, today's Ghana. New Orleans Museum of Arts. Therefore, sunbeams, Ra, were so much revered in Egypt. The same Ra/Rana is God's name among the folk of Hausa. The cult of the sun, God's messenger, was performed by the Fulani people under the name Buidal Great Sun Disk of Mercy. Among the people of the Bassa in Cameroon, these people call upon God through the sun, Job. The Ba Congo people say that God is also N'imbambulawa, great solar creator. The same sun was a key element in Nelson Mandela's funeral rites in South Africa, etc. And it is indeed the sun that gives the Africans their black complexion. Science has sufficiently proven that blacks are black when their bodies produce a pigment called melanin that allows them to adapt to the African sun. Her dark skin is the sign of the sun for humanity. This concept has been known since ancient times. So, according to the Egyptologists Cheek and Tadiop, Wankayama Pisama, and René Louis Parfait et al., we used to have these words in ancient Egypt: Cam/Chem, coal/black Kemet/Comet/Kama, the Black Land, Egypt/Africa, Kemiu/Kamiu, the land of the blacks, Egypt, Kemu, very, cook/burn/blackish/heat Cam/Chem, perfect, complete, perfected. In modern African languages we have words like Kem/Kembu/Kiem/Kemet/Kama/Kala meaning coal/burn/black. And that is why the African word Cam/Cam has produced the word Cham/Ham, which means black people in Hebrew and in the Bible. It's the same word that spawned the word chemistry, because baking is a scientific reaction. This is how black people are baked in the African language. Baked by what? Obviously by the sun, which is God's messenger. Pharaoh Akhenaten said in his hymn to God by Aten, another name of the sun: you are majestic, you are beautiful, and you shine in the firmament and glide over everything in the universe. Your rays radiate the boundaries of all things. As the sun, you have reached your limbs. And you bind her under the look of your son, Akhenaten, whom you love. You, the sun, are so far away, but your rays reach the earth. You are like the divine sign on their faces, people, but your journey is invisible to them. So we see that the sun for Akhenaten shapes people. This sign is the black skin. The Greek scholar Herodotus, who visited Egypt during the era of the pharaohs, said, Heat makes people black. 2.2. This should explain the skin color of Egyptians and other Africans. The concept of black skin through the sun has always been known. So the blacks are the children of the sun, and the whites, who owe their color to the almost missing sunlight in ancient Eurasia, are the result of the cold. Later, in the old vitalistic, animistic thinking, the blacker one was regarded as the product of the sun, the messenger of God. The blacker we were, the more divine and blessed we were perceived. The blacker one was, after what was said earlier, the more perfect and accomplished one was seen. Therefore, God and the deities were represented in the blackest color, jet black. Uzziah, Osiris, son of God, symbolizes the good. He was also called Kemur, the great black. Ma'at, daughter of God, symbolizes order, morality, virtue, harmony, and justice. Left Queen Yamasu Nefertari Ry, Ams Nefertari. She was born with this pitch black color and has been considered divine since birth. She is the matriarch and co-founder of the most respected dynasty, the 18th. She was the most revered queen of antiquity. On the right, her great-grandson, Pharaoh Twanga Imana, Tutankhamun, who died after his death as a divine ancestor, as mediator between God and man, depicted in black. The Kaaba, black and holy stone in Islam. She is worshipped according to the same principles. Recall that the first black inhabitants of Arabia, called Sabaeanur, practiced vitalism, animism. It is on the basis of this African spirituality that has deeply changed that white Semites came later to found Islam. The Kaaba was then worshipped by the Sabaeans. As Africans they went on pilgrimage and sang and danced. They also practiced the cult of the sun, the messenger of their male and female god, a cult later demonized by the Quran, Surah 27. We can still find these relics in Islam. The 5 daily prayers are simply the 7 daily prayers of the Sabines, which are performed according to the different positions of the sun during the day. This concept appeared in India, which was first populated and civilized by black Dravidians from Africa. Therefore, in Hinduism, inspired by the African religion of the first inhabitants of the country, pitch black deities. An example is that of Hindu deities like Mariamman and Krishna. This concept appeared in Greece, the cradle of European civilization, populated first by blacks, Pelasgians, Minoans, and later by the Egyptians. Zeus, the highest god of the Greek people, is depicted in the middle of the picture. Zeus was the replica of Imana Are. This color on this illustration was requested by the authors. The people at that time knew how to represent whites. Illustration from the 6th century BC. Chr. British Museum. 2600 years ago, the Egyptians spread the cult of the Virgin Mother Isata Mariamen in East and Europe. The cult of the Black Virgin and her son was the main religion of Europe for centuries, until the Romans took it and turned it around the 4th century to officially create Christianity. Isata Mariamen, Isis loved by Amen, God. She was also called Setkum, the Black Woman. She holds her son Horus, born of Immaculate Conception from Uzziah, a divine child sent to save the creation. Mari became Mary by copying the Egyptian religion, what the Romans did. In Christianity, Ham is cursed by his son Canaan, Genesis 9:18-27. It is thanks to Christianity that the blacks began to see their complexion as cursed and vicious, while earlier they considered themselves blessed thanks to vitalism. Statues of Isis in Europe, with their jet black color, relics of their prominent cult before the onset of Christianity. The last 3 popes, John Paul II, Benedict XVI, and Francis, bow before Isata, Isis, Mari. Sometimes Christians return to the original African doctrine. The black color is therefore a blessed color for our ancestors and no cursing. Africans, be extremely proud of your skin color and physical appearance, rather than trying to whiten or lighten your complexion to look as if God knows what or who. South Sudanese women.